Hey everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Uh, However that resonates for you, these videos are timeless. My name's Ryan, you're watching Crosswatcher, and today we have a reading. I don't think I'm going to bust out any cards today, but I did spend some time pulling some information, pulling some downloads, and processing your read today. So, uh, for those of for those of you who this applies to, take it as it resonates. If you don't feel that any of this resonates, don't worry. It could resonate. It could have resonated in the past with you, or maybe at a later date. So, yeah, my thoughts are everywhere on this really, and I didn't really write too much down. But I did spend some time pulling your reading, and what I did was, let's see what card comes out. Take it from the middle. Okay, so that's your number for the day. This is not a coincidence. This was the number that came up in your reading. So, and I'm going to show you right now. Watch. There's your secret number. It's backwards, but this is a 3. This is the equation. This is how I got it. This was the first number that came up in this position that intuitively Spirit told me to circle. So it just automatically circled without, just in synchronicity, without me putting any effort into it. This was the first number that got circled. So you had 4, 3, and 1, and then as we went through this process of synchronicity, we got 3. So that's your number for the day. Like I said, that is not a coincidence. Pretty much none of this is a coincidence. Okay, so let me just get into it. So we know now that the number is 3, and for those of you who aren't aware, something I need to keep exercising. Book was up right side up. Okay. 3 is basically powerful communication. We can skip forward to sorry. Okay, so right now, dealing with relationship issues for some of you is just not something you want to deal with. You have like this power going on. Like everything is on hold right now. Okay, and let me. Okay, without trying to read too much into the numbers. Okay, what I'm getting intuitively is that some of you, if not all of you, have been working in silence. Now, if you relate the number 3 to the aspect of working and making progress in silence, that is you today, or that is you coming up soon. Now, we're working in silence, and we're working in silence for a reason. And some of you are even working and perfecting your craft in the dark, like literally for no one to see. And you're doing this because you realize that, first of all, knowledge is power, and power is silence. It's a quiet mastery you're working on. So I like that. I like that message that we're making progress. Uh, some of you, and I like to think a great deal of you have opportunity coming in the form of somebody who is investing in your life and coming forward acting like, kind of like a, I guess, let's see, if I was to look at this like an archetype, I guess you could say like a vessel, or no, like a chariot, like a chariot archetype with the horses and everything. And then maybe some of you are actually going horse riding today, or or you went horse riding, or that's just been on your mind. Like you want to be out in nature. You want to get on the back of a horse. You don't know how to do it, but you want to experience it, or perhaps some of you are coming to the spiritual realization, this awakening, and you just so happen to be in the business of horses. Not to trail too far off, but more having to do with animals is frogs. I'm seeing frogs, green frogs with blue bellies and little orange fingertips. And maybe that's something you've been thinking of doing, uh, of starting a little like collection of small animals or something. And but then you're coming to this realization that's kind of an escape, you know. This goes back to everything you're doing in silence. Okay, anyways, not to get too far off track, but yeah. So silence. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to skip over things. Okay. So some of you are losing loved ones, and I don't want to dig too deep into that. But my condolences. You know, some of you are losing loved ones. Some of you just lost a loved one, and there's these dramatic changes. You know, these Aries energies come up. You could be You could be Aries, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Um, these changes come up in these huge energies, and this is why I'm talking like this, is because I know you saw it coming. You know, you saw this coming, and no, you didn't create this. Okay, your answer to that is no, you didn't create that. You have just been accepting of the changes. And for those of you who are dealing with this in an emotional way, you know, that's probably why you're working in silence. And for those of you who feel like you have no emotional attachment to this, um, it's because you're starting to understand the value of these lessons. You're understanding like what the play is all about. Life is a play. It's acting out, and you know the concept of transition or losing, you know, losing loved ones. That's a set in stone aspect of life. You know, and you might even have known somebody who lost somebody, and you're looking at this from afar, and you're noticing that you know that it's very emotional, but at the same time you feel very controlled. You want to say something, but you're working in silence. You are sending your energy in a positive way that doesn't manipulate the reality of the play. Okay, because it's there. You're watching it as it goes by. You see it doing things, reacting and making mistakes and having victories. You see this happening. All these people, you love all these people. Um, and in you're starting to integrate that into your human nature, into your higher consciousness. Spiritual awakening is it's a mother. It's a mother, and take that as it resonates. um, yeah, I'm so, you know, no, but yeah, we lose loved ones, and sometimes we can see it coming. You know, some of these deeper aspects of life. It shouldn't surprise us when we see them coming. Anyways, so getting back, and we'll take where'd the three go? We'll take the three. Getting back to how we came about. Where'd it go? Is that it? Was it the three of diamonds? Can't remember. Was it the three of diamonds? I split the deck in half. Yeah, here we go. I think this is it. I think it was the three of diamonds. Not 100%. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is, so the way that I got your reading this morning was something that Spirit showed me. This is not something that I know of that exists or whatever. It's just me. This is you in synchronicity. Now, I'd want to say me, but really these messages are coming in. They're not me, they're you. And you are my inspiration. You're all my inspiration. Okay, this is why I'm able to do this. I don't have like a ton of book intelligence. Like, it's just not happening, but it doesn't matter because I have synchronicity from years and years of not giving a damn about anything else. And it's just part of my nature. It's not something that I meant to do. It's just something that I integrated. So this is it. So it's a card flip trick. So see if I could do it. Spirit, you want me to do it? I didn't want. I was doing this inside in the dark. I learned how to do this, and Spirit was just guiding me on the message and how to interpret it and how to calculate it and everything. This has no real book knowledge or viewing knowledge from my eyes or my ears or my learning. I learned this just through meditation downloads. This probably came like a couple weeks ago, and then I'm just processing it this morning. Anyways, it's a card flip trick. Let's see if we could do it. You catch the card, right? That's one, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 counts. Anyways, I'm not gonna get real detailed into it. It's a series of catching the card, and there's a lot of detail into the action of flipping it and catching it. And the higher you go, the faster it spins, the more synchronicity and the more flow you got going on is going to give you truthful results. Now, let's just escape the fact. Let's just forget the fact that everything was, from the beginning of all this, is starting with 3. 3 is very relative to your life, in finances and in relationships. I don't want to skip over parts. Anyways, so it's a card flip trick. So what we're doing here is basically we're doing this in a grid pattern. So the first result was flipping the card 4 times. That's the 4 right there. That was the first time. And the second time was 3. And so on. And then so on in increments. So on. Past, present, future. Past, present, future. As above, so below. Integrated in and out. Life is quantum. Take that as it resonates. Anyways, card flip trick, right? So at first when I was learning how to do this, I was just kind of focusing on the action. And I didn't really stop to think at the time that this actually had a significance, a synchronicity to it. And that the more I am feeling myself and the more in sync I am with my everything, I can actually interpret what these card flip tricks mean. And so basically, not trying to get too deep, but so the overall secret number is 3. We know that. So we're going to work ourselves backwards. So in that first position, let me get out my book. And keep in mind the message from earlier in this video. So the first position, the closest thing that we know is that we're strong and stable, and that the rest of the world isn't. Okay, that's what you're feeling. So you're strong and stable, but then you also have this thing like, oh, am I doing something? Am I actually making progress? And you keep coming back around to this realization that, yeah, I am making progress. Oh, I made that order. That shipment's coming in. That's going to help me to advance in my work or my craft. For me, I actually have tarot cards coming. I have 2 decks coming. I'm not going to let you know what they are yet, but we're going to start doing more of these reads in actual tarot. And I look forward to that. I'm feeling very in sync with that. I can't wait. Anyway. So maybe you have tarot decks coming, and that would make a lot of sense because you're on this road to self-mastery. And the self-mastery needs lots and lots of tools to interpret what the messages are. It's all intuition. A lot of you are starting a business, but it's just now getting going. Some of you, it could be getting going mentally. It could be getting going in your actions, like we were just saying. We were talking. Anyways, we'll skip forward. That to that element, there is this fine line between stability and stagnation, and that's all relative, because even when we are stable with our relationships and our finances and whatnot, it's very easy to get trapped in stagnation, because then you're not growing, and the universe wants you to grow. You were just telling yourself that. So your second number coming up is 3, and we all know 3 is a powerful communicator of opportunity to create inspiration. And a lot of you are creating that inspiration for yourself. A lot of you have just come out of this funk, or you're realizing that you need to come out of the funk of this lack of inspiration, this lack of synchronicity, because it's not allowing that person to come into your life, to work with you, to give you, not give you, I don't want to say they're going to give you anything. You're going to work hard for it. But you are also going to allow things that you were not allowing before to come into your life to help you. And this is all you too. You need to allow you to come out to help you. And that's where you put your nose to the grindstone, or foot to the pavement, or whatever metaphor you want to use, and you get going on it. I hope that resonates. So, we got new beginnings in the future, leading from this newfound creativity, this mastercraft, and these are all like things that right off the bat, or have been in your past. And some of you, this could be your future, but I'm sensing that the way this reads is that it's the things that are closest to your knowledge. Kind of like the selenite table, where the game that we play here on this channel is, and I haven't really revealed it all to you yet, but whatever's in the center randomly is what you know, like, you either need to work on. It's very much in your gnosis, like on the surface. Things that are more like scattered out away from your viewpoint, those are harder to navigate. They're still navigatable. Take that as it resonates, but yeah, you're gonna get through those hills. Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of visions and hills and stuff, I got earlier this, like I was sitting at like a cafe, outdoor cafe, and like a another European town or something. It's like, I almost want to say like an Italian, or maybe you are in Italy or something. There's like a cafe, see a little bit of mixture of cobblestone and regular concrete, and tables with people joining around. Some of you are thinking that that's something you want to do today. That's something you're doing. Some of you are feeling that with all your friends or with all the people that you feel a bit detached, and you're just sort of watching people now. You're a people watcher all of a sudden, but you're a very deep, sentimental people watcher. And you only have the greatest good for everybody. So, but I get that vision of a busy sidewalk and a not so busy street, but busy sidewalk, people, and you are just like out of body, detached. Even if you're having fun and being interactive, there's this higher mastery going on where you're, in a good way, detached. And then if it is in a bad way, then these are all things that are on the surface. You are working in silence. You know this. So, okay, so I don't want to talk too much about the positions, but then we got, in the past, we've got a tower moment. We'll just call it a tower moment. It's probably why all these tower moments have been coming up. Or the couple, I think 2 tower moments specifically you're thinking of that came up in your past, and they're just building to your realization of where you stand in your relationships, your teamwork, the people, that you might be having a hard time or have had a hard time dealing with. It doesn't seem that big of a deal. Like, you see them projecting and you're just sort of kicking back like, okay. Okay. And in the mind, in the back of your mind, you're just like, I don't care, but I'm working with you, and I'm dealing with this, not emotionally. You're not dealing with it emotionally on the surface. You are very, very centered and balanced. Balance is on the table, and is balance in the read? I didn't even think to. Oh yeah, balance is out. Yeah, that's 2. That's what I was just about to mention. It's all the way at the end of my notes here. Balance. So balance is in the read. Balance is actually at the center. Oh, and I want to also point out that 3 in this read it only came up once in the actual grid. 7 is also significant, and that's been following you around. 3 and 7 have been in synchronicity lately in your life. 4 came up twice. 1 came up 3 times. Very significant to new beginnings happening overall. Huge changes, and that person's coming in. Now, there are more than one. Okay, so this is also partially intuitive, partially part of the read. The calculated read is that there's not just one person coming in to help you. There are 3 energies coming in. And you are, it's almost as if it's just one big energy, because you guys are going to create this massive amount of success. And the higher ups are looking at the lower downs and being like, no, I see it now. I have a clear vision. This is what I need. I need to use my power to lift this person up so that they can work in synchronicity with my efforts. Oh! And then take that as reverse if you'd like. The lower downs are also looking at the higher ups, and we're all coming into synchronicity with each other. It's a beautiful time to be alive. 2 at the center. Don't want to get too carried away, but we got 1924 on the clock. 1924, that was. Okay, so we have a 4. We have 2 4s, and then 1 is, let's see, we got future things that are balanced. Yeah, we could just say that things are balanced, thinking things that are leading up from this balance. Yeah, things that are leading from this balance into the future is a lot of knowledge, because you've been working really hard and studying, and you got tools coming in, and you're working with these tools, or you're working with tools that you didn't even know were tools, and you're working with these things now, and you're like, oh my God, I'm a master at this thing I don't even know, oh my God. But you're very centered. You're very balanced, and you have a lot of energy that's coming out in secret. It's coming out in the silence, and for some of you, there's a lot of body movement. You might be thinking, or maybe thinking of, or going to, or maybe you just got a real exhilarated experience from being in a dark place with a lot of people just dancing. You know what I'm saying? Too loud ass music, or maybe that was just you by yourself, or maybe it just felt like you were by yourself. This very, I don't know if you want to call it transcendental word. I don't know. This out of body experience, this higher consciousness, this ascension, in the form of movement, or with the tools of movement. Take that as it resonates. And this is all knowledge. This is all logic now. And you realize that this comes with huge powers, huge mental responsibilities, huge emotional responsibilities. I get this charged feeling like coming in on one side of the body, and this is like a visual, or a feeling in a sense. This charge energy coming in one side of the body, and a realization that this is needing to be integrated. And this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, or it could have been a negative thing, but you have totally transmuted that energy. And it's like synchronicities everywhere. Like it comes in and it goes up, boom, bang, come on in. And you're doing this, you're actually doing this, bring it on, bring it on. You're literally making these movements in the dark. And now, future. Let's say future, things that you see in the future. But this is the thing, is manifestation. I think this is manifestation. It's a 7. Manifestation, but what is this? What is it? Always learning, searching, digging, all subjects. Knowledge is power. No time for religion. Slash more than one book. So you're reading more than one book, or maybe you have maybe you finish your books and you realize I need more books, and you have no idea how you're finishing all this literature, or maybe that's the reverse. Maybe that didn't resonate with you. Maybe it's actually the reverse. Maybe you have all these stacked up books and you couldn't break into them because you're mastering synchronicity. You're mastering power. You're mastering knowledge and you're realizing this, like you get your affirmations and your confirmations later on. And you realize now that you have the flip side of that. You don't even need to. You got it. Like the knowledge is downloaded. It's just part of you now. I don't want to feed into your ego or nothing too much, but good for you. More than one book. Concepts that were in the past, fourth dimensional concepts that were in the past, are well into the past now. You are on a road to higher ascension. Connect to higher consciousness. But it goes back to being awkward in social circles. Even if you're not physically being awkward, I feel this relinquishing of something physical. I'm not going to dig into it. Take that as it resonates. Relinquishing something physical. Getting rid of it. Or being done with it. And you're a valuable team member. People have you've allowed this to happen. This isn't something just happening to you. You've allowed people to put you in your place so that you can be centered and that you can run on autopilot, so that synchronicity can just be part of who you are. And people are coming up to you. I think this has just been coming up in reads. People have been coming up to you and noticing it, and you notice people's eyes going like, you just made my day better. And you didn't even really do anything, because your intentions, you intended, but your intentions are on autopilot. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing when you are working in synchronicity, because it's all for the better good. It's all happiness and joy. And, even if it's contained in secret, and fluid like water, fluid like water. Cancer, Pisces. All right. Where were we? 7? Okay, those are things that were you were aware of, that you've been just thinking of hard. They are in your past. And we've got new beginnings again in that second position. Charged up energy, holding the weight of the world, holding up all these numbers here in the present, in your present. You're holding up a lot. You're holding up your job, you're holding up your finances, you're holding up your power. You're holding your power. You are both the king and the empress, the knight and the empress, or whatever you want to call it. The energies that are not only taking action to create this stability, but also those aspects of you that stands in your power and contains the energy, contains it all. You're containing everything. You're literally drawing energy from everything, including the core of the earth, and you are transmitting that out. You are everywhere. You are everywhere, and for some of you, that might be why you're so exhausted. Your Aries energy is like it's everywhere, and it's accomplishing everything right now. If you can't see that right now, you will soon, or you are accomplishing things that are very internally important to you. And then finally, we got the two. In the future, we go back to the two in relationships and teamwork of all kinds. A true sense of togetherness, and that you created all this. This was in your intentions. This was your manifestation that did this coming up in the future. And if that just came to your realization today, or if yesterday, take it as it resonates, then I'm so proud of you. This is why I'm doing this, because I want to dig deeper into why, or excuse me, I want to dig deeper into my synchronicity. I want to be more in sync with life. So having to humble myself and learn all this and harness this ability, this intuitive ability, and this collective consciousness, understanding the collective consciousness and bringing it into myself and owning it and governing it. That is going to mean more opportunity for others to advance in their life. If I have the strength, you have the strength, others will have the strength. That is also a part of today's message. Working in silence, the number 3, and together we have true power. All right, and so the number 3 came up in the beginning, right? And then so when it was all said and done, I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, so that was meaningful. Let's see why it's meaningful. So I wrote it down here first. This is you're looking at this backwards, but this came up first. So I put it here and squared it out as a major arcana, and then put equals. Then I actually brought the numbers down, brought them all down, added them all up, reducing. It doesn't matter if you reduce it down or you do it the right way or you do it a backwards way. It doesn't really matter. It's going to end up coming out to the same thing, I think. I didn't really think too hard about it, but basically taking 12, 6, and 7, it equals 25. If you reduce that down, you get 3. And 3 has just been popping up probably for the last 3 days in a row or more. There are 3 significant archetypes in your life that you're working on that are creating this ultimate power for you. This is everything that you know in your past, present, and future. Take it as it resonates. It's just so magnificent. I don't know. I don't want to get too emotional about it. Because for a lot of you have to understand this is all reversed too. I don't want to say a lot of you, because that's actually feeding doubt into your mind, and that doubt manifests something really horrible. You don't want that. That's why we focus on the positive and we don't look in reverse. That's how you're supposed to do it. Now, you can start looking in reverse when you stepped into that gnosis that you have to integrate everything, the good and the bad. That's just the way it works. If you're not in that gnosis, leave me a comment below. If you just don't get it, present a question to me. I'll try to answer it, or I'll answer it in a video. Try to answer it. Or maybe somebody will come along and help you. Maybe today is your that revelation, that realization. Maybe those answers are coming if you're looking for answers. Or maybe this is just confirmation that you already have them. And if that's the case, if that's the quest, if that's the quest, you're on a quest. You are on a quest, and you have come into that gnosis. 3 is your number. Communication, lapis lazuli, is always at your side. And you're working in silence with great power. Happy manifestations.